Let's have a look at the Elementor version 4 buttons, because I know this has been a little bit confusing for some people, especially when it comes to having a button that contains an icon. If I go and drag in a button from obviously the version 4 atomic components, you'll notice nowhere inside of here do you have an icon. And for a lot of people, this has been very confusing, because obviously when you use the standard Elementor version 3 button, you have the facility to add in an icon. Now you can do it, but you're going to have to do a little bit of work. And for some people that watch this and go, well, I don't want to do that, you got to kind of take yourself back to basics. The whole point of atomic element is that we're working with the lowest grain of the element. So your button or your version 3, well, that was a button like a wrapper. Inside of it, you had text, and inside of there, you had an SVG icon. The difference was the version 3 button had everything wrapped together. With Elementor version 4, you now build it how you want to build it. What we're going to do is completely get rid of that button. So if you just wanted a button with no icon and it was just going to be text, the version 4 atomic button will do the job for you. But we're going to have an icon inside. So what we're going to do is drop in a div block. And this is the bit you're going to have to just get your head used to, okay? That div block is going to be the wrapper. The version 3, your button was the wrapper, and inside you had your text and the icon. Here, the div block is the wrapper. And for those of you that have gone, well, do I use a flexbox? Do I use a div? Think of the div as the wrapper. You can use a div instead of a flexbox. The only difference is the flexbox gives you a bit more versatility, and you can convert the div into a flexbox as well if you go and click it. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to convert my div into a flexbox just so I've got a bit more control over it. I'm also just going to justify all of my content inside. I'm going to drop in a heading, and I'm going to click again, and I'm going to drop in an SVG icon. I'm going to go to my heading, and I'm going to change the text. Now, I don't want to go through every single feature here, but of course, you could go and add in a link. I'm just going to drop one to a page I've got PDF, to open in a new tab, go and give it attributes, okay? Sort of things you would do with a normal button as well. And some of you at this point would now jump over to style, and you would start doing your typography and your sizing, but I'm going to ask you to just pause for one moment. Let me just jump onto the SVG and change the icon. You could, if you want, select one from one you've already got in your media library, or you could go and upload one. I'm not going to set any link on it. And by the way, I'm actually going to go back over to my heading, go to general, and I'm going to get rid of that link because I'm going to apply the link to the entire wrapper. So I don't care whether you click on hover over the heading or whether you click on the wrapper, the div block, it's going to take you to where you need to go. Now, I'm very quickly going to go to the style type for the heading, go to typography. I'm just going to give this a size of 18 for now. And of course, you could go and set your family, your style, and all of that, okay? I'm just going to keep this really simple. I'll then go to my SVG, and I'm going to go to size. Don't go to typography. It's not the same. I'm going to go to size, and I'm now going to give this a size of about 20. Now, you will have noticed I have not set the color anywhere for any of my items just yet. We're going to do that on the div because it makes it easy when we come to apply a hover effect. So I'm now going to go to my div block. I'm going to go to border, and I'm going to give this a border radius of about 100. I'm then going to go and set my background color. And rather than setting a individual color, which I could do here, I'm going to click on variables because I've already got some pre-selected colors, and I'm intentionally just going to go for blue. And you can see what it's done there. I will then, staying in the div wrapper, go up to my text color. I'm now going to click the variable again, and I'm going to select white. And you can see now it's applied it to the content of what sits inside, but it hasn't touched the SVG. But here's the neat little trick I really want you to take note of right now. A lot of you are going to go to SVG, and then you will set your color. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is go down to custom CSS, and I want you to drop this code in. It's called SVG path fill current color. Did you notice it changed color? It might take a split second, but it will change color. That will now inherit the color of the wrapper. Because if you start to do it on, say, the heading color, then you do the wrapper color, the div block, and then you do one on the SVG, you're forever changing colors, right? You do it once, so when you change the color of that button, if I go and change, if I change the typography color to be black, both of those will become black. Red, both become red. Does that make sense? So SVG path, open curly bracket, fill, colon, current color, and then semicolon, and then curly bracket close again. Again, you're going to have to get used to the custom CSS of version 4 Atomic Elementor. And by the way, a lot of people criticize me. I'm Imran from Web Squadron because I talk too much or I over explain. But if you follow this through, you should be much more comfortable when you are designing your own bespoke buttons. Okay, now let's go and add in a link to this button because we've not done that. So rather than doing it to the heading or the individual SVG, I would go over here and you could type in a URL or connect over to an existing page, open a new tab, do your attributes, blah, 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 right? You get the idea. But the size of that button is ridiculous. So how would you make that smaller? And again, this is the thing that is going to trip a lot of people up. Here's what you need to do. You will go to where we have size, and you know where it says width. Some of you are going to start going, well, I'll make it be 200, and then I'll have another button that will be 150 or 300. You will get used to this, right? You are going to type in auto. And can you see what it's done to that button? It's auto-sized it. That's what you need to do. And now you go and obviously control your spacing. So I'm now just going to put it down to 0. You can basically see what's happening to the button now, okay? I'm going to unlink it and I'm going to go for 5, 20 on the left or right like that. So that is now my clickable button. Okay, great. So I've got my button, but nothing happens when I hover over it and I don't like that. Well, okay, let's go and style it out. What I'm going to do is stay on the div block. Okay, we stay on the div block. Remember, because we used a bit of custom CSS with the SVG, current color, inherit. Well, it wasn't inherit, but you know what it was doing. I'm now going to stay on the div block, click on the 3 dots and go and click hover. We're now in the hover state. And what I'm going to do really, really simply is I'm going to go down to where I have background and I'm going to change that to now be, let's just go for this black color there. And my typography, I could change this if I want, but I won't. I'm going to leave it as it is. And if I now hover, can you see what it's doing? That's literally all I had to do. So now I've got my hover effect.